Okay, are you Amber Barney? Miss Barney? Miss Barney, you're charged with terroristic threats. Your bond is $10,000 on that charge. And simple battery, your bond is $2,500. Your total bond is $12,500. You have special conditions to stay away from Antonio Barney. You can't return to 5308 Peachtree Landing Drive in Ellenwood. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October the 12th at 8:30 a.m. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. Thank you, ma'am. Are you Brittany Cooper?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Cooper, you're charged with improper lane change. Your bond is $500. Driving on a suspended license, $1,000, and driving with no insurance, $1,000. Your total bond is $2,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Your preliminary hearing is going to be scheduled for October the 11th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you, ma'am. Are you Lauren Cooper?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Cooper, you're charged with theft by shoplifting. Felony theft by shoplifting. Your bond is $5,000. You have special conditions to stay away from 2940 Amber Block Road in Ellenwood. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October the 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Demisha Dix?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Dix, you're charged with violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. Your bond is $6,500. No tail lights, $500, and no license on person, $500. You have a total bond of $7,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Tyra Graham?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Graham, you're charged with battery and false imprisonment. Your bond is $3,500 on the battery and $6,000 on the false imprisonment for a total bond of $9,500. You have special conditions to stay away from Michael Noonan. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October 12th at 8:30 a.m. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Marshavia Horton?
Yes, I am.
And Ms. Horton, you're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,500. You have special conditions to stay away from Jeremiah Tucker. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing? Would you like to speak with an attorney first?
No, I don't.
You don't want to waive?
No, no.
Okay, so your preliminary hearing is going to be on October the 11th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You, Jessica Kroll.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Kroll, you're charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your bond is $1,500. And obstruction of an officer, $2,500. You have a total bond of $4,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. Ma'am, you do qualify for court-appointed attorney. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
No, ma'am.
Now, your preliminary hearings on October the 11th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are you Jenny Robinson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Ms. Robinson, you're charged with simple battery. Your bond is $3,000. You have special conditions to stay away from William Cody. You can't return to 1720 Ivy Street. You must not violate any laws while out on bond.
Yes, ma'am.
You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. She waived.
Yeah.
Okay, are you Alicia Rodriguez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, you're charged with theft by shoplifting, felony. You have special conditions to stay away from 2940 Amber Block Road in Ellenwood. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October the 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Thank you.
Your Honor, Your Honor,
Yes,
what was the bond amount? I mean,
5,000. Are you Cherish Tyson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Tyson, you are charged with simple battery. Your bond is $2,500. You have special conditions to stay away from Jared Flemings. You can't return to 1507 Pine Drive, apartment I-10. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, ma'am?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, your preliminary hearing is scheduled for October the 11th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that completes the females for the first appearance calendar today. May I be excused?
Yes, you got the one waiver, right?
Yes, ma'am, I do. I'll send it
Okay.
up.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. All right, give me 1 second before I start with the mails. I just got a criminal history that I didn't have, so it's just gonna take me about 1 minute to review his history.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Okay, I'm ready to go forward. All right, are you Mr. Akpora? Akporaka? I'm sorry.
I choose to remain silent, ma'am.
Okay. All right, sir, you're charged with obstruction. Your bond is $2,500 and no tag, $500 for a total bond of $3,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. Do you want to be considered for a court-appointed attorney?
No, I do not.
Okay. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
I don't think there was any probable cause, any damages.
Okay, all right. I'll put you down for a preliminary hearing. It's on October the 11th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you, sir.
I'm done. Are we still on record?
Yes.
Yes.
You can't say anything, sir, because I don't want you to incriminate yourself unless it's about the bond. Do you have any questions about the bond?
Okay, what was the statement about the bond?
Do you have any questions about the bond?
Yes, could you repeat what was about the bond?
The bond is $3,000 and you must not violate any laws while out on bond.
And is that cash bond or what type of bond is that?
It can be cash, like I explained in the beginning. I went through cash, commercial, and property bonds, so you can pay either one of those ways.
Okay, so since we're still on record, let the record show that this is a special visitation. I am being held here against my will.
Sir, this is not the time to go into that. Okay, all right, thank you. That's all. Okay. Are you Malik Andrews?
No, ma'am.
What's your name, sir? Mark
Mark.
Anderson?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Did you fill out a court appointed form, Mr. Anderson?
I did.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Anderson, you're charged with public drunkenness. Your bond is $1,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, sir?
No, ma'am.
Your preliminary hearing is going to be on October the 11th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Andrews.
Are you Malik Andrews?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Andrews, you're charged with driving with no license. Your bond is $1,000. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're gonna bring your name right there and sign on that line. Yeah.
Are you Omar Ba?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Ba, you're charged with murder. You have no bond set on that charge, aggravated assault, no bond, and possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, no bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October the 12th at 8:30 a.m. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. Thank you.
Bailey.
Mr. Bailey,
Yes, ma'am.
you're charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your bond is $1,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so you will have to hire your own attorney.
All right.
Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearings?
Yes.
Thank you.
Right here, and then sign on that line. Boyd,
Can she see the hold or does she just give me the bond?
sign right there.
She can't let you know nothing about the hold? Oh, okay.
No, you good.
You know nothing about it.
Are you thorough, Boyd?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Boyd, you're charged with theft by shoplifting. Your bond is $2,000. You have special conditions to stay away from the International Farmers Market at 5226 Jonesboro Road in Morrow. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do
Yes, ma'am.
qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
I'll look at that. Preliminary.
I'll put you down for a preliminary hearing. I'll let you speak with your attorney first. If you want to waive, you can waive at a later date. Okay?
Okay.
All
Yes,
right.
ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. Daniel.
Mr. Daniel,
Yes, Your Honor.
you're charged with theft by receiving stolen property. Your bond is $6,000 and driving on a suspended license. Your bond is $1,500. You have a total bond of $7,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October the 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Thank you, sir. What's your name, sir? Okay. Did you say Damian Majors?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Majors, you're charged with aggravated assault by strangulation. You have no bond. Battery, no bond. And cruelty to children in third degree, $2,000. You have special conditions to stay away from Angelique Julian. You must not violate any laws while out on bond should you get a bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October the 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir. Thank you.
Hey,
Mr. Mayo?
That's it.
All right, Mr. Mayo, you're charged with trafficking marijuana. You have no bond set at this time. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You must not violate any laws while out on bond should you get a bond. And you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir. Thank you.
Newman.
This Chad Moore.
Oh, ma'am.
This is Michael Newman, Your Honor.
Michael, no.
Did Chad Moore bond out?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right.
He was in the process of bonding now. I called bonding and they said they had a bond intent for him.
Okay, all right, that's okay. All right, Mr. Newman, you're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,500. You have special conditions to stay away from Tyra Graham. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so you are going to have to hire your own attorney. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
You said yes,
Yes,
okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, all right.
Bring your name. Sign right there. Petro.
Are you Mr. Petray? Sir, you're charged with battery, two counts of simple battery, family violence. Your bond is $3,000 for each charge. And criminal trespass, damage to property, your bond is $2,000. You have a total bond of $8,000. You have special conditions to stay away from Glenn Beaver Sr. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Apple. Fulfill. Fine, right there. Bring it there.
Are you Mr. Sassel?
Chevelle.
Well, I'm gonna come back to you, Mr. Safel. I'll come back to you. I'm gonna hit from the next person, please.
Southern.
Oh,
Southern.
Are you Michael Southern?
Ma'am.
All right, Mr. Southern, you're charged with criminal trespass, damage to property. Your bond is $2,500. Battery, family violence, $3,500, and theft by taking $2,000. You have a total bond of $8,000. You have special conditions to stay away from Caitlin Shears, and you must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do not qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir, so you will have to hire your own attorney. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bring your name right there and then sign on that line. Sullivan.
Are you Mr. Sullivan?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Mr. Sullivan, you're charged with knowingly driving a motor vehicle with canceled registration or suspended registration, driving with no, and that bond is $500, driving with no insurance, $1,000, violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, $6,000, possession of a weapon during the commission of a crime, $6,500, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, $8,500. Your total bond is $22,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You have a preliminary hearing scheduled for October the 12th at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom, and you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Honor, do you want to bring Mr. Safel back up or do you want him last?
I'll do it last. Let me do the fugitive.
And we still have two more, Mr. Thompson.
Okay, okay.
Thompson.
And Mr. Thompson,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Thompson, you're charged with criminal trespass. Your bond is $2,500. Your special conditions to stay away from 1599 Adamson Parkway in Morrow. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You indicated on your court-appointed application that you do work, but you didn't indicate how much you make.
Yes, ma'am. It's probably like about like 800 every 2 weeks.
Okay. So you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Check your name right there, and then sign on that line. Then Walker, come on up.
Hey, Michael Walker?
Yes, ma'am. How you doing today?
Good, thank you. Mr. Walker, you are charged with possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your bond is $1,500. Driving on a suspended license, $1,500. Driving with no insurance, $1,000, and driving with no tag, $500. Your total bond is $4,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. You do qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I am going to appoint one to represent you. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Brent, and then sign your name. And then Ms. Johnson.
When is my court date, ma'am?
Who's this? Who?
Michael Walker. Sorry about that.
Oh, you waived.
Oh, I
you get
waived?
your court date in the mail.
Okay. All right.
Or if you're still in custody, they'll let you know when your court date is, if you don't
Okay.
bond out.
Okay. Thank you. You have a good
Okay, you too.
Next, coming up, Mr. Johnson, he's introduced.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, you don't have any charges pending against you here in Clayton County. You've been brought before the court today because you have charges pending against you in another jurisdiction, and that jurisdiction is requesting your return. You are charged with being a fugitive from the state of Colorado. You may contest extradition or you may waive extradition today and return to Colorado without going through the formal extradition process. If you do not wish to voluntarily return to Colorado, you may file a petition for a writ of habeas corpus to contest extradition. The petition may only contest 4 things. That's whether the extradition documents are in order on their face, whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in the demanding state, whether you are the person named in the request for extradition, and whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. You cannot contest the issue of guilt or innocence in this state. If you decide to contest extradition, Colorado will have 30 days to come and get you. If they do not come and get you within 30 days, most of the time you will be released. I just have to let you know that our jurisdiction can file for an extension based on the circumstances that would extend that time to 60 days. Okay, if you wish to waive jurisdiction and voluntarily return to Colorado, then you can do that today. Do you wish to waive or contest?
Yes, that's the waive option is to return to Colorado, right?
That's correct.
Yes, that's what I would like to do.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Sign on, take a copy. And Mr. Sapp.
All right, for Mr. Saffel, Deputy Ricana, I thought he had bonded out because I don't have paperwork for him. And so if they can get the paperwork to me now, it's fine. But I thought he bonded out. I just assumed he bonded out just because of the fact that I didn't have his paperwork.
Okay, so do you
I
want me to?
realize that I don't have anything for him. I don't have anything for Mr. Saffel. Actually, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, 1 second. I take that back. I'm just missing a bond order for Mr. Saffel. So I can go ahead and do his right now.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Saffel, you are charged with speeding. Your bond is $500 on that charge, and driving on a suspended license. Your bond is $1,000. Your total bond is $1,500. You must not violate any laws while out on bond. Mr. Saffel, do you work?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You refuse to fill out your court-appointed attorney application. Would you like an attorney appointed to represent you?
I have a lawyer on retainer.
Okay, all right. Do you wish to waive your preliminary hearing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Bring your name right there. That's all that one. And that'll be everybody on the calendar today, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. I'll just wait on those waivers.
Yes, ma'am. And I believe we have a total of 9 in total. I believe it's 8 on the male side and 1 on the female.
Yep, that's correct.
And for Ms. Upshaw, that is 4 cases, correct? Believe so, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mm. All righty. Good morning. Today is September 27, 2022. I'm Judge Case Johnson. This is the matter of State of Georgia versus Crystal Upshaw, charged in warrant number 2022 WA14407, criminal trespass, 2022 WA14408, use or possession of drug-related objects, 2022 WA14409, simple battery, and 2022 WA14410, obstruction. Representing the state is Mr. Taylor. Representing the defendant is Mr. Stephen Little. Mr. Taylor, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Officer Kirilova, please.
Yes, sir.
Good morning still. Good
morning.
Officer. Could you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, looking. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give to the court in this matter now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Could you state your full name, please?
Officer Ella Kirilova, Clayton County Police Department.
Okay, and what are your duties with the Clayton County Police Department?
I'm patrol officer for Sector 4.
Thank you. On September 14th of 2022, did you have occasion to come into contact with the defendant, Crystal Upshaw?
Yes, sir.
And could you tell us about that, how that contact came about?
I responded to Arrowhead Pawn Shop area. The complainant / victim, 72-year-old gentleman, said that he went inside Shell gas station, which was located off Old Dixie Highway. He went to pay for his gas, and when he returned to his vehicle, he found Miss Upshaw inside his vehicle on the passenger seat. He said he never saw her before. He didn't know who she was, and he asked her to step out. She said she is not getting out because she was hungry. He said that he was asking her multiple times to leave. He also promised to buy her some food if she leaves from his vehicle. She refused to do so. Also, as I was advised, Ms. Upshaw told him that she doesn't want food anymore, but she wants some money. So 72-year-old guy did not do any better than he decided to drive to Arrowhead Pawn Shop, which about half a mile away from Shell gas station. As he advised, he knew is a security guard at the pawn shop, and he just wanted to ask him to help to get her out of his vehicle. So when he parked at the pawn shop, Miss Upshaw remained in the vehicle. She still didn't want to leave. So he went inside, asked security guard to help him to get her out. Security guard told him just call 911. So when I arrived, the complainant was outside of pawn shop when Miss Upshaw still was in the vehicle, in the passenger seat. The passenger seat was unfolded, so she was laying down inside. When I opened the door, she was sleeping, but she woke up. I asked her, ma'am, what are you doing in this vehicle? She tried to speak, but she had a hard time to speak. She was obviously under influence, not alcohol. So she basically mumbled that she's just sleeping here and I need to leave her alone. So I asked her to step out because she is in somebody else's vehicle and he doesn't want you here. And she said, no, she didn't want to leave. I said, okay, but I need to know who you are, identify yourself, ask her for her ID or name. She refused to give me any name or any ID. All she was doing was mumbling that she didn't do nothing wrong. She was just trying to sleep in the car. Therefore, I don't need her ID at all. So when I asked her several more times to step out and she refused, I grabbed her arm and tried to help her out of the vehicle. And at this point, she slid over the driver side, attempting to escape from the vehicle through the driver door. So I was able to grab her leg and pin it to the seat. So she started kicking me, and she did kick me several times with her other leg. So I grabbed both of her legs and dragged her toward me, tried to get her out of the vehicle. So she sit up at the point and tried to bite me in my neck. So I had to let one of my hands go to push her so she won't bite me. And I still held her leg down, and she starts screaming and she's in pain, and I'm breaking her bone. And I loosened it up. At this time, she just helped herself with another leg. She took her shoe off and snatched her leg out of my hand, and she took off running through the driver's side. She lost her shoe over there. So I ran behind her, and when I was about 2-3 steps behind her, thinking, should I try to get her while she's on her feet or get her on the ground, she decided to hide behind the electrical box, which was attached to the wall at the end of a shopping plaza. I guess she thought I don't see her when I was, like I said, 2-3 feet away from her. So she basically got on the ground behind that electrical box. I had to get on my knee and try to handcuff her. She was biting me. So she put her mouth on my rest area, but before she closed her teeth, I had to push it up and backwards. So she won't, I had some prints, but it didn't break my skin. She continued kicking, fighting me. So I was able to handcuff her, but on the front. And only after that, when I already was escorting her toward my patrol vehicle, and when she was using dead weight, other units arrived. And so they helped me to recuff her and put her hands behind her back. So she, at no point, she gave me her name. She did not explain why she was in the vehicle. I assume she was trying to perform something else, but she was too intoxicated for that. So EMS arrived, she refused to get checked. She refused to give them her name. And we basically found out who she was only when we used rapid ID, which is upon checking, she came back with active arrest warrant. That's it. Oh.
During her arrest, did you find any items on her person?
Yes, I'm sorry, I forgot it. She had a little brown purse across her shoulder, all inside time. And there was a pipe, crack pipe inside. There was no raw residue inside the pipe. Everything was burned, but it was just used probably recently, and it was submitted to evidence.
And based on your experience and training, you've seen this type of pipe before?
Yes, sir.
And you were able to identify it?
Yes, sir.
That was a lot of information. I just want to confirm a few things. When she originally got into the victim's vehicle, that was on, I believe, Old Dixie Highway?
Yes, that was 6142 Old Dixie Highway. This is Shell gas station.
And that's in Clayton County, correct?
Yes, sir.
And where was the location where you made contact with her?
Arrowhead Pawn Shop parking lot.
And that's also in Clayton County, correct? When you attempted to remove her from the car, she kicked you.
Yes, she kept saying no, and she started kicking me when I actually put my hand on her, tried to get her out. That's when she started kicking.
Did you receive any visible injuries from the kicks?
That was a little teeth print over here, but the skin was not broken. That's why I didn't. She didn't attack me to bite. She was trying to prevent me from getting arrested. That's what she was doing.
So she kicked you and she attempted to bite you. Is that correct?
Yes, several times.
And additionally, she ran away once she left the vehicle. She didn't comply with your commands.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, officer. No further questions.
Mr. Little.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Kirilova, you made contact with the alleged victim, Victor Matthias?
I think Matthews. That's
Matthias.
how. That's how
Okay.
I pronounce his last name.
And you said he was 72 years old?
72-year-old man.
Okay. Do you have any idea how old Miss Upshaw is?
She's 30 something.
30 something?
Let me look at her date of birth. Let me give you exact date of birth. Oh no, she's 24.
She's 24. Okay.
24. I'm
And
sorry.
she was in Mr. Mathis's vehicle
Yes, sir.
when you made contact with her.
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Mathis says she got in at a Shell station on Old Dixie.
Yes, sir.
Did you go to that Shell station to see if there were any witnesses at the Shell station?
No, we did not.
Okay, so
She
no,
still was in the vehicle. Nobody stopped her from leaving.
okay. You said when you made contact with her, she appeared as though she might have been under the influence of some sort of intoxicants.
Well, from my experience, she was under influence of drug. I did not smell any alcohol. However, all her disorderly clothes, her pupils were huge. I did not see any reaction to light. It was sunny, bright outside. She was really unable to speak. She couldn't even run fast. So she was not complying, not answering no questions. She just was clearly intoxicated, as from my own experience.
Okay.
And the crack pipe, which was used.
It was used.
I mean, what I side was used, it's been used before.
Well, how do you know it was used?
Well, it was burned inside. It was no raw residue that was burned already. So,
Okay. Was it submitted for any sort of testing?
no, like I said, it was nothing to test, was all burned. It was no raw. I tried to see, but it wasn't there no more.
Was the pipe taken into evidence?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Mr. Mathis is telling you that he did not invite Miss Upshaw into the vehicle.
Yes.
Okay. He left his door unlocked at the gas station, I guess is what he told you.
Yes, that's what she said. When he went to pay, he didn't lock his door.
But you didn't go to the Shell station to see if there was any sort of like surveillance video of that to corroborate.
It was not needed. She still was there when I arrived.
Okay. She was saying that she wanted Mr. Mathis to pay her.
Well, he said she told him first that she was hungry, and after he offered her to buy food, some food for her if she get out of his vehicle, she told him that I don't want no food now, I want some money.
Okay.
That's what I was told. He completed a statement as well.
Oh, he did a written statement?
Yes, I have written statement from him and from the witness from pawn shop.
Okay. The witness from the pawn shop is the security guard he spoke to.
No, he was outside during all the encounter. So I have written statement from him as well.
Okay. Did either Mathis or Upshaw tell you if they had any sort of business arrangement together?
No, Upshaw was not really speaking. She was making noise sounds, mumble sounds. And Mr. Mathis said that he never saw her in his life before. He was kind of scared when he found her in his vehicle.
I got you. Now you say you tried to extract her from the passenger side of the vehicle, but she escaped through the driver's side?
Yes.
When you tried to take her into custody, or rather, when you tried to remove her from the vehicle, were you the only officer present for that?
Yes, sir.
Had you called for any sort of backup to come assist you in that arrest?
I called for backup when she took off running, but I already caught her.
So that was after you tried to remove her from the vehicle. She
Yes.
ran, and then when she ran, you called for backup.
That I'm hurting her, holding her leg down. That's why I loosened it up. I didn't want to hurt her. And that's why she took her shoe off, snatched her leg out of my hand, and took off running through the driver's side. That's how I was chasing her and I caught her.
Is she alleged to have done any damage to the vehicle?
No, it was not damaged. I asked Mr. Mathis to check if something unknown to him objects were left in the vehicle, or maybe something was missing, or any damages. He said nothing new, nothing missing, and no damage.
Okay.
Well, besides urine stains on the passenger seat.
Some what?
I guess someone urinated on the passenger seat.
Hmm.
That's it.
Okay. It's gonna be weird to ask this, but what made you think that that was urine?
Well, it smelled like urine, and well, she did something else later. I guess she wanted to use bathroom on site time. So.
Okay. What was the reason for needing to extract her from the vehicle then, as opposed to getting some assistance to bring her out?
Well, she was not no threat to me. She's kind of way smaller than me. I did not see I need any help.
I got you. So the obstruction, is that for the idea that she ran, or for the, what did you charge her with the obstruction for?
Well, it's kind of several elements into it. She refused to identify herself. She did not leave from the vehicle. She ran away. She resisted arrest. Like I say, we basically, it was use of force applied. That was use of force report made as well by sergeant.
Those are the questions I have at this time, Your Honor.
All righty, any redirect?
Yes, just briefly. Officer Kirilova, you said that you found what appeared to be your urine stains in the vehicle. Were those fresh? Was the seat damp?
Well, she was sitting on it. It was like more moisture print because she was sitting on that seat.
Moist.
But Mr. Matthews, he was like, no, it's nothing there. I'm good. So I guess he wiped it off a little bit.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so based upon the evidence presented, there is sufficient probable cause to bind Ms. Upshaw's charges, all four, to the state court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court.
Thank you, Officer Kirilova.
May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Have a great day. Officer Rupert, who do you have?
Be William Stanton William.
That by conversion.
Which one? He's got two cases.
Yeah.
I was only aware of one.
What warrant number are you on? You're on 73730.
I'm sorry.
I see here you're on 730. What about Cale Williams, Officer Cale Williams? I see an Officer Williams up there. Can you turn your camera on, Officer Williams?
Your Honor, that's Officer LaRodney Williams.
Okay, that's a different one. Okay. All righty. And Officer, yes.
Who's the next person you need?
Stanton Williams. I guess we can just do the death by conversion. It's because we do not have Officer Michael Williams, or do we?
Your Honor, I do not see Officer Michael Williams on here.
All right, and Officer Rupert, is this the only case you have?
The only one I was made aware of for today.
Okay. All right, and okay. So, Mr. Tipton, do you desire that we just handle that death by conversion?
It's actually Mr. Taylor's case, Your Honor. My apologies. I jumped the gun on that one myself.
Yes, Your Honor. These appear to be totally separate incidents, so we can proceed with the theft by conversion.
Okay. All right. So yes, then. Oh, he's going to get him now. All right. Hold tight for me.
And this is going to be my case, Your Honor.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
You got Stanton Williams,
Excuse me, Your Honor.
Stanton Williams.
Yes,
You said you need a Stanton?
yes, Danton Williams.
All right, give me 1 second.
All right.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
You don't make it happen.
Your Honor stepped away for a moment. And I'll be
Did they give me the name again?
Stanton Williams.
What's your last name, man?
Williams.
What's your last name?
It's Antoine.
It's Antoine. Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.
We're looking for Stanton Williams.
Antoine, see, they want Stanton.
Okay, we don't have a Stanton down. Okay, then give me
The
1
middle
second.
name Dwight,
White.
middle
Okay.
name Dwight.
Dwight.
Yes.
Your Honor, it's possible that they weren't added to the calendar. They're on our list, but
He's definitely in there.
yeah, he's definitely in there.
yesterday.
Yes, that's for sure. He's definitely in there. But the actual, my calendar I printed out a couple of days ago, but he's not on the actual court calendar. He's on our list though.
Yeah, he was on when Judge called it, so he's on.
Okay.
They got the officer here. We got everything here.
Can we get his LE number?
Yeah, let's see if I can find it.
1808942.
Okay, we're gonna have to.
Spell his first name.
Can you spell his first name?
Stantoine. Stanton Dwight Williams Jr.
Looks like what happened when you all spoke about the charges. There were other charges. Some were related, some were unrelated. So at one point, he was on the felony calendar to then be taken off of the felony calendar. And then solicitor's office indicated that some of his charges were felony to put him back on the felony calendar. So then they found out that those charges were unrelated. So that's probably exactly what happened. He was put on and then taken off. But he is definitely, he should definitely be on the misdemeanor calendar.
Okay, so what do we have going on here?
It seems as though the jail may not have brought up Mr. Stanton Williams. They had an Antoine Williams this morning. Okay. I'm hoping they can bring him up though, since we have the officer here and we're otherwise prepared to go forward.
Yes, so Deputy, you think we can get him here? Get him up?
Get him up.
Yes, ma'am. We're about to get him.
Great, thank you. All
Your
right,
Honor,
I'm
based
sorry.
on the,
We're really close.
All right.
All righty. So who else do we have here? What other Officer Coleman? Who do you have?
Jamal Muhammad.
All righty. Deputy, if we can get Jamal Muhammad. And that is, he has 2 charges, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, are you Mr. Jamal Muhammad?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we are calling your, I'm calling your matter. This is the state of Georgia versus Jamal Muhammad, warrant number 2022 WA14110, and that's battery. And warrant number 2022 WA14111, obstruction of an officer. Representing the state is Mr. Taylor. Representing the defendant is Mr. So. Mr. Taylor, your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Coleman, could you raise your hand, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give to the court in this matter now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Could you state your full name and occupation?
Officer Travis Coleman, patrol officer for Riverdale Police Department.
And you said you're a patrol officer, correct?
Yes, sir.
On September 9th of 2022, did you have occasion to go to the Citgo gas station on Valley Hill Road?
Yes, sir, I did.
What was the reason you were dispatched to that location?
On September 9th of this year, approximately 8:07 p.m., Clayton County dispatched myself and other Riverdale patrol officers to 510 Valley Hill Road, which is the Citgo gas station, in reference to a 29 call, which is a fight call. Upon my arrival, I was the first officer on scene. As soon as I stepped out of the vehicle, several unknown witnesses and customers that was pumping gas, leaving out the gas station, who witnessed the physical altercation, stated to me, there he go, he's the guy that was fighting. He's trying to get away, while pointing towards Upper Riverdale Road, pointing in the direction of Mr. Muhammad. I immediately looked over at Mr. Muhammad while Mr. Muhammad was walking away from the store. He looked at me directly. I asked Mr. Muhammad to stop walking. At that time, Mr. Muhammad took off running across Upper Riverdale Road, leading me to run behind him to try to detain him for further investigations. While running, I repeatedly gave loud several verbal directives to Mr. Muhammad to stop running. Mr. Muhammad refused, ignored all directives, and he continued to run. He ran behind building 483 Upper Riverdale Road, which is a medical center. And one of the reasons that Mr. Muhammad stopped running, because he ran to he closed himself in. He ran in between a building, and there was no way out. At that time, other patrol officers, as well as assisting agencies, Clayton County Police Department Sector 2, came out to assist due to the nature of the call. Mr. Muhammad was then placed in handcuffs, and he was transported back to 510 Valley Hill with the Citgo for further investigation. At that time, when I went back to the gas station, the witnesses that was pumping gases that observed a physical altercation, of course, they was gone from the gas station. There was other people there. I went in and met with a complainant, which was the store clerk. I spoke with the complainant to see what occurred, what happened, what was the reasons of the call. The store clerk, Mr. Fitzum, if I'm not mistaken, he stated that Mr. Muhammad came into the gas station as if he wanted to purchase some items, which is chips, candies, miscellaneous snacks. Mr. Fitzum stated that Mr. Muhammad came to the counter to check out. His total was roughly $30-something. Mr. Muhammad attempted to swipe a debit credit card. The transaction was denied. Mr. Fitzum, the clerk, advised Mr. Muhammad that the transaction did not go through. Mr. Muhammad again attempted to swipe the same card. At that time, Mr. Fitzum turned around the screen to let Mr. Muhammad see that the transaction was not approved. It was denied. Mr. Fitzum stated that at that point, Mr. Muhammad became angry and started putting the unpaid items into a black bag, his own personal black bag that he brought into the store. The black bag that Mr. Fitzum described was also the black bag that was retrieved when Mr. Muhammad was taken, but he was detained. Mr. Fissam stated that once he saw that Mr. Muhammad was placing the unpaid for items into his personal black bag, he left from around the register area to go and prevent any thefts, to retrieve the items, the store items. Mr. Fissam stated that once he went to grab the items to prevent the theft, Mr. Muhammad immediately struck him in the mouth area, which left a bruise, cut, and blood on the left top part of his lip.
Officer Coleman, were you able to observe that wound to the victim?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Please continue.
Prior to me going into the store, I've seen it was mushed bananas on the floor, liquid that I don't know what kind of liquid it was. If it was alcoholic beverages, sodas, I don't know. Busted bag of chips. The shells was pushed out of the original area, so I could just from my observation, I knew that some type of physical altercation had occurred in the store. Mr. Muhammad also had, prior to being placed in handcuffs, I did notice that he had blood on his mouth and nose area, which Mr. Fissam did state that he did strike back to defend himself. And other than that, Riverdale Fire, Clay County EMS came out to evaluate both parties. While speaking with while Mr. Muhammad was speaking with Riverdale Fire, he had slurred speech. You can smell a strong odor of alcoholic beverages coming from his breath. And that's it.
Can you identify the defendant, Mr. Muhammad, on the Zoom call today, possibly by an article of clothing?
Yes, sir. Orange jumpsuit, white facial mask.
And did you say that Mr. Muhammad still had items from the store in his possession when you arrested him?
He did. He had 2 bags of chips inside the black bag that was identified by Mr. Fissam. Mr. Muhammad, once he was placed in the back of Officers Patrol Unit, he was not taken back out. Mr. Muhammad was described physical characteristics and clothing by Mr. Fissam, the store clerk. The bag was retrieved from Mr. Muhammad. There was 2 bags of chips that Mr. Fissam, the store clerk, did not want to prosecute on the theft of the 2 bags of chips.
No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you, officer.
All right, Mr. Sub.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hello, officer.
Hey, how are you?
All right, let's doing good. Thank you for asking. So I wanted to go back to the beginning. So why would you call to this gas station again?
It was a fight call, priority 1 call.
And you mentioned that a witness said something along the lines of, I believe, there he go. Could you describe the witness, please?
It was not only 1 witness there. To be exact, it was 3 witnesses. It was 1 female and one female and 2 males. They were all in 1 vehicle. They were pumping gas. As I pulled up, all 3 started yelling at me. There he goes. That's the one that was fighting. He's trying to get away. By that time, I made direct eye contact with Mr. Muhammad. Muhammad returned the favor by giving me direct eye contact. As he was, I'm sorry. As he was walking off, I asked Mr. Muhammad to stop, just for investigation.
I hate to interrupt, but I just wanted to ask about the witnesses. I believe you already gave that testimony earlier.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
It was a lady and 2 males.
Okay. And did you get their information, name, number, anything of that nature?
No, as stated before, when I came back to the gas station, the witnesses had already left.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Oh, 1 follow-up, Your Honor. Officer Coleman, are you aware if the store has video or surveillance cameras that were functioning?
The store does have surveillance, video surveillance. Myself and my sergeant did ask the store clerk for surveillance. Unfortunately, the clerks don't have access to it. He said will have to come from the store owner, but they are. He did state that the footages are kept for up to 45 days.
Thank you, officer. No additional questions.
All righty. Any redirect, or Mr. Taylor, no, you rest at this point. Mr. Taylor, you rest?
I rest, Your Honor.
All righty. Closing
submits-
arguments.
Defense submits on the evidence, Your Honor.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor. Based on the testimony of the officer, I believe the state has established probable cause that Mr. Muhammad, first, he obstructed the officer when he fled, given direct instructions to stop running and to come back and speak to the officer. He interfered with officer's investigation by continuing to flee, and he fled up until the point where he had basically run into a dead end and could no longer avoid the officer. The officer's testimony indicated that the victim in the case had been struck by the defendant, creating a battery, and the officer observed a visual wound to the victim's face, raising this to a straight battery rather than a simple battery. Thank you.
All right, so based upon the evidence presented, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind these cases over to the state court of Clayton County. That's the order of the court.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, can I be excused?
You most certainly can. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, officer.
Thank you.
When will my new court date be set? They're not gonna know.
I'm calling the matter of State of Georgia versus James Smith, charging warrant number 2022 CW 53022 and 2022 CW 53023, charged with 2 counts of criminal trespass. Representing the state is Mr. Taylor. Representing the defendant is Mr. Stephen Little. Mr. Taz Taylor, please call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state calls Officer Williams.
My apologies. My daughter just woke up. I'm here.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Could you raise your right hand, please? You solemnly swear or affirm that the evidence you shall give to the court in this matter now pending shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Could you state your full name, please?
My name is Officer Rodney Williams.
And your occupation and agency?
I am a police officer employed with Clayton Police Department.
Thank you, officer. On June 29th of 2022, did you have occasion to go to 365 Terra Road?
Yes, I did.
Is this in Clayton County?
Yes, it is in Clayton County.
And what was the situation that caused you or required you to go to that address?
We received a call in reference to a disturbance at a Miss Lindsay's household.
Okay. And when you arrived at that address, did you make contact with Miss Lindsay?
Yes, I did. She was inside her home. I had to knock on the door to get her to come outside, but I did make contact.
And what information did Miss Lindsay provide to you?
She advised that an ex-boyfriend came to her house with uninvited. She identified him as James Smith. She advised that Mr. Smith came to the household basically doing a pop-up. She advised they used to date, but they wasn't dating anymore, that she had company over the home. She said she was unsure how he found out that she had company over the home, but he popped up. He attempted to get into the house. She said she was sitting in the living room. She heard a front doorknob moving. She said eventually the doorknob stopped moving and it sounded like someone was attempting to break into the house. She said that sound stopped and she looked out the window and seen Mr. Smith.
Before you proceed further, can you identify the defendant, Mr. Smith, on this video, possibly by an article of clothing?
Negative. I do not see. 1 second. I don't see the Clayton County Jail. There we go. Yes, he has an orange jumpsuit on with a white mask.
Thank you, officer. Continue, please. I believe you had stated that Mr. Smith was at the door of the victim.
Yes, sir. He was at the door. Ms. Lindsay advised that he eventually disappeared from her sighting. Mr. Smith then moved his vehicle on the side of the household to make it seem like he left. He eventually began to mess with her garage door because he couldn't get into the home. He eventually got the garage door up enough that he could damage her vehicle. He had a blunt object. I'm unsure of the blunt object, but he used that object to scrape the vehicle, to scrape Miss Lindsay's vehicle. After Miss Lindsay seen him doing that, she advised him that she was calling 911, and that's when Mr. Smith left.
Okay. Did Mr. Smith, did Miss Lindsay tell Mr. Smith to leave the property prior to him damaging the vehicle?
Yes, Miss Lindsay advised that she did tell him to leave.
And yet he remained at the location, correct?
Yes.
And it was afterwards that he attempted entry into the garage.
Yes.
And then he damaged the vehicle with the blunt object.
Yes.
Was Ms. Lindsay, did she make any comment or statement to you concerning her safety?
Yes, she was in fear from the moment she seen him, but she said that her fear level began to rise as he attempted to go from different window to the garage to moving his vehicle on the side.
Was she concerned for any of her property?
Not until he began messing with the garage door.
Did you have occasion to make contact with Mr. Smith?
I did make contact with Mr. Smith.
And based on the information you have obtained from Ms. Lindsay, what action did you take?
I asked Ms. Lindsay to fill out a statement form and basically putting down what happened today, what occurred on that day. After I left from Ms. Lindsay, I made a public service call to Mr. Smith to get information from him. And after having a conversation with him, I went to Step 3 precinct to file for warrants.
Okay. Were you the officer that exercised the arrest warrant?
Yes, sir. No, sir. No, sir. Take that back. No, sir.
So he was arrested at a later date, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No additional questions at this time.
Mr. Little?
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Williams, were you the only officer that responded to this incident?
Say that one more time. You said, well, was I the only officer that responded to that address?
To this incident, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Was Miss British Lindsay, British is her first name?
Yes.
Okay. So Miss Lindsay, was she the only witness that you spoke to?
Yes.
Okay. Did she have any sort of any video? Like, did she have any sort of doorbell camera or anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Did she take any photographs of the suspect at her house?
No, sir.
Okay. She provided you with a name?
Yes, sir.
Did she provide you with more information than a name, like date of birth, any other identifying information?
Yes, sir. Name, date of birth, and phone number.
Okay. And so that's what you used then to secure the warrant for Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said you made contact with Mr. Smith. That was over the phone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But you didn't actually execute the arrest warrant for Mr. Smith?
No, sir, I did not go and serve Mr. Smith.
Okay. So the first time you've ever seen Mr. Smith is here during this hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How are you able to visually identify him then during this hearing if you've never seen him before?
Due to the judge calling out his name by first and last name, asking the deputies to go get him, I would assume that you guys wouldn't go get a wrong Mr. Smith. So yes, sir, that's how I identified Mr. Smith.
So what you're testifying to is information that you learned from watching this hearing, not from information that you gained through your investigation of this case?
Negative. What I'm testifying to is the report that I made and the arrest warrant that I went to go get. Yes, sir.
Specifically though, as to the identity of the person who's here, you've never seen this person before?
Negative, sir. I have never seen that young man a day in my life. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, while you're investigating this, did you see the alleged damage?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said there was damage to the garage door?
No, sir. He pulled up so the garage door was locked. He continued to pull on the garage door until it came up just enough that he was able to damage the rear bumper of the vehicle.
Was the garage still up when you were there?
I cannot testify on that, sir. I can't remember.
Okay. But you were able to see the damage to the bumper?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you take photos of it?
I'm not sure. I have to look at my report to see if I attach photos.
Were you wearing a body-worn camera during this investigation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that camera was operational?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So was there damage alleged to have been done to the front door?
No, no damage was done to the front door.
So the only damage is the alleged damage to the bumper of the car?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, prior to this date, is there any evidence that Mr. Smith had been given a criminal trespass warning from this location?
Not that I know of, sir. No, sir.
Okay. So the idea of the criminal trespass is based on her asking him to leave prior to your arrival?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When you made contact with Mr. Smith, that was with the phone number that Ms. Lindsay provided you with?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And that person identified themselves as James Smith?
Yes, sir.
And did he tell you that he had damaged anything at that location?
No, sir. He did not.
Okay. Those are the questions I have at this time.
All right, so I didn't see where these are disorderly conduct. I didn't announce that in the beginning, which is 2022 CW 53024. Do you guys have that one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I know I did not announce it. I needed to make sure that that was on the record. All righty. So, Mr. Taylor, do you have any redirect?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Williams, have you arrested any suspect based on an arrest warrant that you have not contacted previously?
No, sir.
You haven't placed anybody into custody solely on the knowledge of an arrest warrant?
Oh, yes, sir.
Is it customary for a police officer to arrest somebody based on a warrant without having made contact with them during their original activity that caused them to be issued a warrant?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. No, nothing further.
All righty. And so closing arguments.
Yes, Your Honor. Based on Officer Williams' testimony, which includes the information that he obtained during his investigation with the victim, British Lindsay, the officer established that the defendant, Mr. Smith, was not legally present at the residence of Miss Lindsay. And when she asked him to leave, he did not leave. Furthermore, upon staying at the residence, he damaged Miss Lindsay's property without her consent and caused her by brandishing a weapon and continuing to attempt entry at her door, and obtaining entry, or at least partial entry, into her garage, caused her to fear for herself and for her property, which was justified considering the fact that he went on to damage her car.
All righty. Mr. Little?
Thank you, Your Honor. The testimony we have here comes solely from the witness, Miss Lindsay. There's no other witnesses who can corroborate it. There were no photos taken of my client at the location. There's no video to prove that he was there other than the uncorroborated story of Miss Lindsay. And my other worry, Your Honor, is we don't actually know if this person that we have here in court today is in fact the suspect in this case. He was arrested based on information that was given by a witness, but then, no confirmation was done with that witness to later identify the person was arrested to make sure that he was in fact the person who's alleged to have done this. So we don't really have a way to identify Mr. Smith other than the fact that he was arrested on a warrant by an officer that also wasn't the same officer that then investigated the case to know who Mr. Smith was supposed to be. So based on the fact that we don't have a way to identify that this is in fact the correct witness suspect, Your Honor, I would argue the state's failed to meet their burden of probable cause.
All right.
Your Honor, in rebuttal to Mr. Little, Mr. James Smith III has a previous criminal record. He has been arrested and fingerprinted by law enforcement officers. I believe his identity was confirmed as he was brought into the Clayton County Jail.
All right. So based upon the evidence presented, I do find that there is sufficient probable cause to bind all his charges over to the state court for Clayton County. That's yes, thank you. I appreciate that. All righty. So good morning. Today is September 27, 2022. I'm Judge Kate Johnson. I'm about to call the calendar, so please make your announcements. Ashley Bailey. Ashley Bailey.
Is Officer Nimmons on today?
Your Honor, I was kind of, never mind. This is a different case. No, it isn't actually. Your Honor, this one's already been accused. Looks like it's pending in Judge Hayward's courtroom.
All right. What about Christian Bakerville? And please mute your devices if you're not speaking.
Your Honor, it looks like Baskerville is still pending. That one we would be ready on.
Okay, state's announcement.
Your Honor, I do not seem to have the file for Baskerville. Oh, I apologize. I do have the file for Baskerville. Just placed in the wrong spot. Is Officer Eric Floyd on the Zoom call? Officer Floyd? State's not ready at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, hold on. There are two officers trying to get in now. But one is Officer Nemus or something like that. Okay. All right, so you said state's not ready on that?
Yes, Your Honor. State's not ready on that because we don't seem to have the officer.
Was the officer subpoenaed?
Your Honor, the notes on my calendar say that the officer will be attending. It does not specify whether or not Officer Floyd was subpoenaed.
All right.
And Your Honor, it shows the same on my calendar as well. It doesn't say specifically which officer, but it indicated that they were subpoenaed.
Okay, all righty. And Anaya Bass.
It looks like that case was transferred on the 21st.
So it was accused.
That's what,
Anybody else have anything different?
I'm showing she's out to bond, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Aperia Brown.
Case appears to be pending, Your Honor. Defense will be ready.
Is Officer D. Piggers on here? Is Officer D. Piggers on the Zoom call? Pigors. Appears the officer was subpoenaed, but they did not appear to be on here, so state is not ready, Your Honor.
Alrighty. Christopher Bryant.
it appears that that case is pending. Defense will be ready.
Let me see if Officer Jackson is on here. I do not see Officer Jackson. So the state is not ready at this time.
All right, Micaiah Burleson. Micaiah Burleson.
Case appears pending. Defense would be ready.
Okay.
Your Honor.
Its announcement on this one?
One moment, please, Your Honor.
All righty. And Mr. Little, position 6, was that your case or Mr. So's case?
Which one is that, Your Honor?
Position 5 and 6, that was your case or Mr. So's case?
That is Burleson.
Brown, it looks like a period Brown.
Brown.
Brown, Your Honor, I'll handle Brown, Your Honor.
You will, okay.
Your Honor, the officer for Baskerville has arrived, as well as the officer for Bryant. They've both arrived. So the state is ready.
So Baskerville, so the state is ready on Baskerville.
Yes, Your Honor, and state is ready on Bryant.
And on Bryant. All right, and what about Burleson?
Listen.
I can come back to it.
I gotcha.
All right, Sabrina Bird.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Officer Fenimore is here for Bird. And with reference to Burleson, Officer Dimmons is here as well.
Burleson, okay. Who did you say, Officer?
For third, it's going to be Officer Fenimore. Officer Fenimore is here. And Officer Demmons is also here for Burleson.
All right, so what about Kevin Colley?
Looks like Mr. Colley was transferred to state court on 9/26. So it's bound over.
All right, thank you. Javarius Collins.
It looks like Mr. Collins is out the bond.
All righty. Now Kevion Curtis.
Looks like that case is pending. Defense would be ready.
Okay.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state's gonna need some time to get in touch with their witness for this one. The state's witness is not here as of yet.
Okay, so I just put this, hold this one. Julian Deloach. Julian Deloach.
It shows that Mr. Deloach is out to bond.
All right. Thank you. Whitaker Dennis.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
State's going to request a hold on that, Your Honor.
Okay. Troy Evans.
Looks like the case is still pending. We are ready. Defense is ready.
State's ready, Your Honor.
State is ready, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Alicia Green. Alicia Green.
Your Honor, it looks like Ms. Green is unrepresented.
She's still in custody?
Believe so, Your Honor. The case is still pending.
And Your Honor, the state's going to actually request a continuance on this. Our officer is out on annual leave.
Can anyone tell me if this young lady has bonds on these charges?
She does, Your Honor. It's a $1,500 bond for criminal trespass, $1,000 for public drunk, and $2,000 for obstruction. She's been in since the 16th, Your Honor.
All right, and do we know why she doesn't have counsel?
I do not know, Your Honor.
All right, I would like to get her qualified today. Give you guys an opportunity to speak with her and the state. So I'm gonna put that down as just a P-trial. At this point, I understand that the officer is unavailable, but if you guys could speak, that would be helpful.
Sure.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then if someone eventually can tell me how long she's been in jail.
Since September the 16th, Your Honor.
September 16th. And whether or not she have any holds on her.
She does not appear to have any holds.
Okay. Thank you. All right, Ucal Jones.
Defense is ready.
State's going to request a hold.
Okay. All right. Justin Jordan.
Defense is ready.
State's ready.
All righty, thank you. London Kelly.
Your Honor, defense would actually like to request conference with the state regarding London Kelly before making an announcement.
All right, so it's going to be a pre-trial. Is the state ready otherwise?
Your Honor, let me See if Mr. Walker is here, if Officer Walker is here. State would request that we hold for the officer.
Okay. Anthony Kendrick.
Fence is ready, Your Honor.
Okay.
State's ready, Your Honor.
All right. Trevion Lloyd. Trevion
Defense,
Lloyd.
defense is ready, Your Honor.
Okay.
State would request a hold for the officer.
All right. Charlie Mahaffey.
Defense is ready.
Mhm.
They would request a hold for the officer.
Anthony Martin.
Defense is ready.
State would request. State is requesting a hold for the officer.
And does this individual, how long has this individual been in jail?
Your Honor, he's been in jail since the 19th, excuse me, since the 11th.
Since the 19th?
I'm sorry, since the 11th, I misspoke.
The 11th.
Yes, the 11th.
And as far as you know, are there any holds?
I do not see any, Your Honor.
I want to put that one down as a pretrial to see if this can be worked out. But you said the state, you're not ready at this very moment, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. You want me to place it as a hold?
Yes, Your Honor.
All righty. Shakia McKnight.
Defense is ready.
State would request a hold.
All right. Hold on one moment. Jacqueline McNeil.
Defense is ready.
All right.
It is ready.
State is ready.
Yes, Your Honor, it is ready.
Jamal Muhammad.
State's requesting a hold.
And defense is ready.
Your Honor, that's my case, and Officer Coleman's present. The state's ready on that matter.
I can't hear you. Is someone saying something?
Yes, Your Honor. This is ASG Taylor. Officer Coleman's available. She's on Zoom, and the state's ready to proceed.
Okay, that's ready. All righty. Brittany Pisano.
Your Honor, it looks like she's unrepresented.
Okay. Want to get her appointed. How long has she been in jail?
Since the 14th.
How much is her bond?
Bond is set at $1,500, Your Honor.
All right. Raylene Pickett,
Defense is ready.
Your Honor, I do not see Officer Allen currently. The state would request a hold in this matter.
Justin Pincinette.
Defense is ready.
All right.
State's ready, Your Honor.
I see an Elliott down there. You said ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
State is
okay,
ready.
great. Thank you.
Is my notes say that the defendant has been transferred or loaned to Southern Regional. Are they present today? Have they returned to custody?
Deputy? Deputy at the jail?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, do you have in custody, was it Justin Pincinette?
You said Cincinnati or Chris Nabby?
Justin.
What's the last name, ma'am?
Pittchnette.
Oh, yes, we do have him on the calendar, ma'am.
Oh,
Deion,
I mean,
Yes,
but do
he
you
here, Your Honor.
physically have him?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, we got it.
yes,
All right,
we do,
great,
ma'am.
thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Radaya Rahim,
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
okay.
I do not see Officer Farley. A state would request a hold for her arrival.
All right. Keith Scott.
Defense is also ready.
All right.
And Officer Franklin has not arrived at this moment. The state request a hold, please.
Devon Sermon.
Your Honor, I think they're out to bond.
Sermon is out to bond.
That was my announcement also.
Okay, great.
They are, Your Honor.
All right. And what about Christopher Sinkfield?
Defense is ready for Sinkfield.
All right.
And the state is ready also.
Mhm. James Smith.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Officer Williams is present. The state is ready.
Okay. Ariane Thomas.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
Okay.
I don't believe Officer Thinfield has arrived at this time. The state will request a hold on the matter.
Okay. Crystal Upshaw.
Your Honor, Ms. Upshaw appears to be unrepresented.
Can anyone tell me when she went on first appearance?
She had her first appearance on the 15th.
Of September.
That's right, Your Honor.
Okay. And Ms. Thomas, can you look that up and see if she simply refused counsel or what happened?
Yes, Your Honor. I was just thinking the same thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The state's ready in that matter, Your Honor. Officer Karolova is present.
On Upshaw?
That's correct.
All right, so state is ready. And defense is also ready, correct?
Well, I mean, she's unrepresented, Your Honor. I can get
Oh,
ready.
that's
I can
right.
be
Okay.
ready.
You can be ready. Absolutely. All right. And so Kareem Warren.
Defense is ready for Warren.
All righty.
I don't see Officer Floyd at this time. If they would request hold on the matter.
All right. Terry White.
Defense is ready.
I do not see Officer Hill at the moment. Your Honor, the state would request a hold. And on the previous position, Officer Floyd is present and the state's ready to proceed.
Okay, so Warren, state is ready.
Yes.
Alrighty, and then Alicia Williams.
Defense is ready, Your Honor.
All right.
Officer Parks is present. The state's ready.
All right. Anton Williams.
He's got 2 cases, Your Honor. Defense is ready on both.
Okay, all right.
The state's ready, Your Honor.
Great. And what about Victor Williams?
Defense is ready.
The state is ready, Your Honor.
All right, and Rontavious Young.
Looks like that case is transferred to state court on the
That's
20th.
accused, all right.
Yeah, Your Honor, I believe he made bond. It says on the 20th. Well, no, I think that was when there was an order for bond, but it did get bound over to state court.
Okay. All right, so did I miss anyone? Does anybody have a name that I did not call?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
All righty, so I am going to go off YouTube because I really would like the state and Mr. and Holt to go into a conference